Hello and welcome to another monthly update of Alter Aeon. It is October 2023, and I am Shadowfax, your humble narrator. As the year begins to draw to a close, we enter what I call the event season of Alter Aeon. We typically have a system-wide event held each month for the next several months, each centered around a different holiday, including Alter Aeon's anniversary in January. At the end of this month, we will be celebrating this year's 16th annual Halloween Havoc event, hosted by the world builder, Morpheus. The event will start on Saturday, October 28th, and end at noon on Wednesday, November 1st. There will be activities for players of all levels to enjoy, including pumpkin cannons, the Halloween PK mob arenas, and a whole lot more. As stated in last month's update, fellow world builder Draak will also be releasing 2 of the high-level Realm of Hades areas as part of the event. We hope you all come out and join us for Halloween Havoc. Draak is preparing a very large change to object compositions. Composition is what an object is made of. Outside of crafting and some MSP sounds, it doesn't have a huge impact on gameplay. Right now there are roughly 50 different object compositions, most of them kinds of metal. Crafted objects are handled with special memory settings to determine subtypes of metals, such as oak and sumac for wood, or agate and granite for rocks, and so forth. Draak is expanding the number of compositions to over 500. This will include each type of wood, stone, crystal, and cloth as its own composition. Each composition still belongs to a general group that will determine which skills and crafts can be used on it. This will be visible upon being identified. For example, an object made from oak will show up as timber, oak, instead of just wood, and an amethyst crystal would show up as mineral, amethyst. This will allow for more granularity and verisimilitude with certain shops and jobs. We will be able to set up a dwarven shop in Kaluktar that deals exclusively in mushrooms, dragon hunters that buy only scales, and tailoring jobs that ask for specific types of fabric. More crafting options. Some ideas Draak has include inlaying with wood, chandlery for combining fiber, herb, and wax items into candles, and expanded cooking with the ability to bake pies and cakes using new sugar, egg, and starch compositions. Eventually, Draak hopes to set up systems similar to how metallurgy already works, where any eligible treasured object made of smeltable metal can be smelted down and forged with. The plan is to make it so that you can break down an oak barrel into craftable oak planks, or carve a gemstone from a small statue made of lapis lazuli. More deeply integrated crafting. Along with the composition changes, Draak is switching over the complicated memory-based system for handling object upgrades to inline registers on objects that builders can switch on and off. This would allow builders to decide if a gold-wide band ring could take a gemstone, or if a steel bracer could be inlaid. This will also make it easier for future programming of crafting code, being able to work with a handful of registers instead of navigating a tangled maze of object memory. This will be introduced in 2 or more phases. There may be minor breaks as systems are switched over. Old objects will be updated when players log in. Meanwhile, I'm going to continue work on implementing the ability to hunt. I'll be closely working with my brother to ensure that Hunted Gabe will be compatible with his proposed composition changes. I'll likely have a functional hunt ability ready in the next couple of weeks. The first pass will be available to builders only for testing purposes, but I can give everyone an idea on how it works thus far. Hunting is an ability centered around the use of ranged weapons, such as bows, crossbows, and blowguns. One begins hunting by first tracking down prey. Once a player has found evidence of game via tracking, the player will try to identify what it is and can decide to either attempt to ambush or pursue the game, or ignore it and try tracking something else. Ambush means that the player hides and waits for game to approach, while pursue means that the player actively stalks the game. Certain animals are better ambushed or pursued. Once the game itself is discovered or reveals itself, the player can fire their ranged weapon at the target. If the player misses or the target is wounded instead of killed outright, it flees and the player can pursue the game in order to catch up with it and try firing at it again. The hunt ends when the game is dead, or the player chooses to stop. And that's how hunting will work. While Draak does his part for the hunting code, I'll be returning to build Castle Ket. I'd like to get that done in time for Thanksgiving. One more thing. Starting next year, I'm considering changing how these monthly updates are shared on social media. We used to publish the text of any updates to the changelog on our socials until the automation service that I use quit formatting them properly. From that point forward, we've simply shared a link to the newest changelog entry whenever one is created. Although I disliked doing this, as far as I can tell, we haven't suffered any measurable loss in traffic, which seems to indicate that people are content to click on the link in order to see the entry. I wonder if I can do something similar with the monthly updates. Right now I gather information in order to write a script for the YouTube update, which I then record, edit, and put to music, and video, which I also have to record, render it, upload it, and then write another more generic propaganda version which strips proper names and game-specific terminology out of the update and links it to the uploaded YouTube video. I'm really starting to question whether that propaganda piece is actually necessary. I wonder if it's plausible to simply share a link to the YouTube presentation like we do for changelog entries. However, I will admit that there is a key difference between the two. The idea behind doing it this way for so long was so that we present a version of the monthly update for people that aren't familiar with our game would better understand. This means that the propaganda really isn't for the benefit of the fans of the game who already follow us on Facebook, Twitter X, or Discord, the same places where we share changelog entries. Rather, it's for the places where we're trying to advertise and recruit new players, like Reddit, audiogames.net, mudlistings, and groups.io. There is another option, in which I could simply copy-paste the YouTube script social media posts. However, I feel that that would make the audio presentation completely superfluous. Let me make it clear that I don't mind doing both the YouTube script and the propaganda version, but it would save me labor if I only did the first. As it stands, the process of making a monthly update takes about 3 to 5 hours, which I usually have to spread out over a number of days. If I could reclaim some of that time to work on building or coding, I think my time might be better spent, and I would be happier. Either way, I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on the matter.
That concludes this monthly update. Please like the video and subscribe for more monthly presentations. You can also follow us on Facebook or Twitter for event reminders and reboot notifications. To support our game, you can visit www.alteraeon.com/donate, or you could shop online at our store at www.cafepress.com/alteraeon. We hope to see you and your friends soon on Alteraeon, where every day is an adventure. Thanks for listening and happy mudding, everyone!
Alteraeon.com. That's ALTERAEON.com.